Hello guys, welcome back to Movie Reviews. This installment we're looking at Mad Max from 1979. So this is quite interesting actually because I think people probably think, I thought you've already talked about Mad Max beforehand on the channel. I did actually, but the video got taken down. So this is from series 5, but it ended up being taken down unfortunately. And I thought, you know, just leave series 5 as just like 10 episodes really, because obviously I did like 11 episodes. The other one I'll be mentioning, it's the same as well, which I'll probably get into eventually. So yeah, so I did cover Mad Max, but again, I think Warner Brothers sort of took action on it, and it's basically just blocked it really, just sort of got rid of it all. You know, so I'm here to do a redo version of it, of course. So I thought, might as well go over and done with, you know, like with this one. So it's from 1979. It's one of the early roles starring Mel Gibson. Of course, it's filmed in Australia. Of course, by that point, I think Gibson was in Australia at that point really, and obviously went on for star success. Of course, did the original trilogy, of course, which was Mad Max 2, or Road Warrior, it's known as, and Beyond Thunderdome, you know, in 81 and 85. But obviously we'll talk about the original, of course, and it's directed by George Miller, of course, who actually, look at some research. There's a good retrospective by Oliver Harper, who actually covered Mad Max, the first one. In actual fact, George Miller was actually a doctor, and he basically, I think his friends started to make a film together, really, or just, you know, want to make a film, you know, just make their own movie actually. And so they basically end up just you know doing like, I don't know, but I think just like make a like a apocalyptic type movie very much, or something along those lines. And I think the main idea was to do, I think one main inspiration was to do like, you know, fuel just running low or something, you know, causing a bit of a, you know, like a bit of, take some action really. But it's just interesting really. Obviously you have it's like a plot of revenge. It's more revenge really. It is quite different from what you expect from Mad Max really. Of course, with the freeway films coming out afterwards, taking like a different direction really. Sort of continuing the story, but done differently really, in terms of locations and also characters as well. Whereas this one is just basically just with people and criminals in a biker gang really, just terrorizing the roads of Australia really. And it's like, you think, yeah. Obviously, people probably think like this is like the last Mad Max film to see really. Technically this is my first really, because I remember seeing this on the a VHS box set I used to have, you know, double case thing containing all 3 films at that time. I think it came out in the late 80s, early 90s. This did, I think, yeah, late 80s. I think. Obviously you had Mad Max on tape 1, then you have Mad Max 2 and Beyond Thunderdome on tape B, you know, tape 1, tape 2, you know, that sort of thing. And I've only ever seen the first 2. I've seen half of Beyond Thunderdome, but I've never seen it fully. I need to get around to seeing that actually, even though I've got the DVDs now. I still need to see Beyond Thunderdome in full. So there we go. I've seen Fury Road, so that's okay. So obviously it's a great film because I remember enjoying it. This is back in the day when I used to watch films as a young kid, really. You know, from the age of like 10 really, or 11, you know, or something like that really. So again, it's a really interesting, very good film actually at the time really. You know, just put it in and just basically just enjoy the film for what it is. There's some great moments in it, like some great scenes, of course. I think the obvious one is the opening chase, which involves a car that has a jet engine on the back. And you think, what the hell? Obviously, I didn't realise until maybe later on when Oliver Harper did the retrospective. It's like, oh yeah, the straps the jet engine to the back of the car. It's like, and you see it, it's like, what? Really? I think that's the only film that's ever attempted to do like a strap a jet engine on the back of a car, just make it like a daring stunt or an interesting scene, really. But also like, I think one thing that's sort of, you know, and obviously it has a close up of some guy with his eyes just nearly popping out. I don't know if that's actually real or is it like from a different bit of footage. I'm not entirely sure. Like his car, you know, sort of drives away, but you know the car steers like goes like, it sort of swerves, and he goes. Then you have a close up of someone's eyes, and it sort of explodes really. You know, that's sort of interesting. Great music as well. Interesting score done by Brian May. Not Brian May from Queen, Austrian composer Brian May, who did a sequel, and I think also did Elm Street 5, I think. He's done something like that, really. Maybe. Who knows? I'm trying to think. I think so, yeah, Elm Street 5, I think he did. Again, it's just a pretty interesting, just like one of those, it's like a eventual cop movie. It just works, really. I really do think it's probably worth watching. You know, consider it's one of Mel Gibson's early roles. Late 70s, Aussie exploitation film. Again, interesting. You know, obviously with when it was released in the States, it was sort of like they wanted to redub, you know, the cast really because of his Aussie slang and its vocals really, of course. But I don't know if that's still around or if it's ever been attempted. Maybe, who knows? But Mad Max, definitely worth watching. Interesting enough, and it's just something I've seen a long time ago. I still need to maybe rewatch it, but it's still a good film. I just basically think it's good. If you think of one of the best films from 1979, this would probably be one of them, really. So, yeah, interesting. And to cap this double bill off, we've got Total Recall from 1990. Yet another film that I covered in Series 5 that ended up being taken down by Studio Canal this time. So let's go back to basics and talk about Total Recall. Paul Verhoeven's follow-up film from RoboCop from 1987. Obviously, this is based on the Philip K. Dick novel We Forget You Wholesale, and obviously I think it sort of takes elements of it, all focuses on it really. Follows the adventures of a construction worker called Douglas Quaid, who has dreams of going to Mars, but also people will probably think it's a stupid idea really. But one of his co-workers suggested he goes to have like an implant, like this weird holiday virtual thing implant really, and decides to just go down there and say, you know, I just want to travel, you know, travel to Mars, but have like something inside your brain really, that whole thing. And he does that, and it sort of gives him the identity of a secret agent apparently, strangely, and it's like he's not crazy. He's actually something else. I don't know what. He has a different surname as well when he has the secret agent identity included, really. And it's like, you know, it's like a Kalmas thing, of course, like him going around the city, which is filmed in Mexico. Some parts are subway scenes, you know, having thrilling chases with the subway, the Johnny cabs, which are actually interesting for the time, really. You know, very sort of like animatronic, robotic taxi drivers, which is actually pretty interesting. Then of course, you get this set piece of him going to Mars. Lovely in all shots, lovely interesting detail of Mars, make it be, again, like a red planet, just something interesting, really. And of course, he goes to his base, of course, like this main sort of resort or main colony, whatever it is. And it's filled with, like, mutants as well. Sort of like, that sort of thing, very sort of interesting design, really. Sort of like semi-deformed humans, really, but you live in a peaceful society. And again, just interesting. Obviously, with a Paul Verhoeven film, you get the action turned up massively to 11, as it did with RoboCop, of course, so it's heavily violent, all blood splatters and everything else, it's all over the place. Interesting cast. Arnold Schwarzenegger's in this as well. I think people would regard this as one of his best films, really. You've also got, I forgot her surname, she plays, I think it's Melina or something, who's sort of another protagonist, of course, that helps him. Sharon Stone's in this as well. Obviously, this is sort of like, I think sort of a big break for her at this point, because obviously she appeared in Nico Above the Law with Steven Seagal, later on Basic Instinct, which starred again Paul Verhoeven as well. Directed by Paul Verhoeven. And yeah, and basically just carried on doing other stuff. I mean, Catwoman springs to mind. Nothing else to say about that, really. Just kept it going, really. I know she did a film with Stallone called The Specialist in 94, so that's interesting. Just let you know that one. Also, we share the same birthday as well, funny enough. March the 10th, strangely, along with Chuck Norris. Okay, yeah, so that's one thing. Obviously, you have a few characters as well. Michael Ironside's in this as well, famously for appearing in Scanners at the time, and also you got Ronnie Cox as well, who appeared in RoboCop as well. He played Dean Jones. Ends up being shot out the window at the end. with his animatronic, you know, his sort of puppet with very long arms, you know, like if you see the film, everything else. Again, it's just pretty interesting. Again, it's just a really good film, really. Good score by Jerry Goldsmith as well. Again, old-fashioned, good use of techniques as well. So it basically works. It's just interesting to work on, you know, interesting to look at, really. And yeah, it does it regarding its reputation, really. I remember seeing Total Recall in, I think first time I knew about it was in the back of Eraser in 1996 VHS. And he mentioned other films like, of course, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger with Terminator 1 and 2, which I think I said at that point. Total Recall, which I'd actually never heard of, really. And I think it was on like ITV3 or TV4 that were showcasing it. Like just broadcasting one late night, and I watched it with my dad. I thought it was pretty good. Interesting, good work in terms of everything else. You know, I thought it was, you know, the idea of like a man dreaming to Mars. There's some interesting visual effects, of course, in there in terms of like people gasping for air and their eyes just pop out. So like that's interesting. Who's the other guy? This other acquaintance that Quaid meets. I forgot his name, but he ends up being crushed and using a drill to try and crush him, but he ends up being drilled himself, really. At least, and he's sort of revealed to be an alien or something, you know. And yeah, the special effects are just bonkers in this, but it's a really good film, you know. Him masquerades as a woman with a prosthetic head. Like the woman starts freaking out or something, and also it just reveals to be like a cybernetic head. Then he just Schwarzenegger's head just comes out, disappears, really. Just that is quite interesting. You know, it's very interesting in terms of visual effects and feels. It's pretty good. Definitely worth seeing. I didn't actually get it on DVD until when I got the box set. Now this is that Studio Canal box set, which it is called Schwarzenegger, which actually did form the quadrilogy for Series 5 actually. In that point, you know, you had Red Sonja, Raw Deal, Red Heat, and Total Recall included on there. Obviously, it's done the opposite way from Total Recall to Red Sonja, but I did the other way in terms of Series 5, really. So it's pretty, again, interesting. So I thought I'd just cover them, really, of course. But sadly, sadly in Series 5, of course, it got taken down, Total Recall. And basically, I just decided, I'll just do the same here like I did with Mad Max. Just redo it on putting this double bill. But there we go. Nothing else to say, really, but it's just a great film. Obviously, this film got remade in 2012, which is just, nah, don't bother. Everyone says it's like one of the worst remakes ever, you know, but, you know, stick to the original 1990 version. Still a good film. Definitely worth watching. It's one of Schwarzenegger's bear films. If you think of a list of best Schwarzenegger films, chances are this will come up. Commando will come up. Terminator 1 and 2, obviously. True Lies is another one. I'd probably pair up. Conan the Barbarian. You know, there could be a good few actually. Red Heat. I think Red Heat's would be one of his bear films. But there we go. Total Recall. Thank you guys for watching. I've been talking about Mad Max from 1979 and Total Recall from 1990. I'll see you later, guys. Bye.